you once, and I'll tell you twice. The way I feel, here's my advice. I told you once, and I'll tell you twice. The way I feel, here's my advice.
Hi, hope you're well. This is Theo with another episode of Shakedown. Now, I did promise that I would be coming to you on video form. I am still working on it. It's not to say that I'm lazy or anything. It's just that when you have other things going on around you, it's not easy to delve into something and it's going to be all sorted out. But I promise that it will be done, and it will be done. It's been crazy, really, that my life at the moment has been changed, and I'm being focused, and I've been more busy, and I'm trying to stay on top of things, and I'm focusing on what I want to do for the future, namely, in part, making this podcast grow and trying to reach it to new audiences. So I am trying to do my best to all sort it out. So I will have that promise. It's on record. I will have it promised to have more content on video form in the months ahead. Right, so we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about the World Cup. We are in the midst of, well, it should be finished, because I'm trying to actually watch the final between France and Croatia, and my Xbox is just updating itself, so I'm just waiting for that to warm up. It's currently on 18% as we speak, but by the time this podcast is gone out, it will already been updated and the game would have been over anyway. Not that I'm really too bothered about it, because I think France will win it in the end, but that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about at the moment is the England setup and what's gone on. So England have gone through to the semi-finals of the World Cup. No one actually seen that coming, nobody. And I saw the game between England and Croatia, and everybody was getting all excited. The whole country was putting the club allegiances aside, and they are just trying to do their best to kind of get together and support this momentous occasion. But sadly, we didn't go through to the final, and I'm sort of kind of sad about that, because I think that we should have been able to do it in the first half. We had chances to actually kill them off in the first half. We had a good intensity, but they equalised, and then the game took to extra time, and then Mandzukic, who else, but would scored the winner that ultimately knocks us out. It's sad, really. And then we went to the third place final with Belgium, and I didn't see the game because I was working, but the game was 1-2-0 by Belgium. And I looked at it and I kind of think to myself, nobody really wants to play in that game. Nobody. They just wanted to go home and just like lick their wounds and try and come back another day and everything. But yeah, fourth place finish. It doesn't feel nice to actually finish down there, if I'm honest, because I really did want us to go through. It is disappointing, and this is football, but at the same time, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself that, yes, this is a very, very young squad, and it's got a little bit of inexperience, it's got to be said. Like I said, we could have done a bit of game management on Croatia, and we didn't do that. We should have done that. When you're having a goal and you're leading so early on, the thing is just to keep playing, keep the shape, keep managing it, so you don't end up getting themselves allowed for the opposition to get called back in. But it's sad, but it's one of those things. I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about the World Cup in general. I think that this has been the best World Cup that I've seen in my lifetime so far, because we got teams emerging and we've got the big teams are knocked out pretty early, all for different reasons. I mean, Spain, for example, they got knocked out early because they didn't have a direction of where they were going. They had a new coach in, and it wasn't easy for them to deal with. It's kind of weird, really. It's when teams do come across big countries, they want to do well, and this is the kind of culture that will come into it now. When it comes to football, big teams are susceptible to defeats on a big stage, and that's what's happened. So I just think that we should actually be proud of what we've seen, to be honest. And I want to commend all the teams that's played in this tournament. Yeah, it's been great, but I can't really say the same for the next World Cup. It's going to happen in Qatar in 2022, and it's when I heard this thing that was announced by FIFA, I said to myself, why would you want to go to one of the hottest places on earth, the hottest place on earth, and trying to get down there is going to be ridiculously expensive, and it's gonna be hard. So, and in the summer, it's going to be at its hottest. So what they have announced that they're going to do is that they are going to put the tournament in the winter. So it'd be not early, mid November to mid, just about a few days before Christmas. It's going to be really, really difficult because I don't see how that's going to benefit anybody. Yes, it'll be at its coolest, but it's still going to be a mass disruption. And FIFA have got only to blame themselves for this, really. And I just don't really understand why the hell you want to put an event like this on in wintertime when everybody's got geared up to actually enjoy themselves, to have a good Christmas and everything. But it's going to be crazy. But who knows? Maybe it might go good, but we don't know. So yeah, so we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about respect. I did say that I was going to come up with this subject for a very, very long time. And one of the things that kind of riled me up last week as I was writing down my notes to produce this episode was the Mel B. Louis Walsh. So normally I check on my social media. I do that more or less every day, and I come across in Twitter, and there was this video that circled about. So I watched it, and it had Mel B and Louis Walsh in there, sitting down very cozily, professionally talking about the X Factor at the time, and Louis Walsh had his hand on Mel B's bottom, and Mel B was disgusted by it, and she scooted over just a little bit more to get some distance from it. She did not like that at all. And then Simon Cowell said, "Oh, he's gay, he's fine, and everything." Now, this is the thing. I've seen gay people that do that, and my jaw kind of drops to the floor because I'm there thinking to myself, why would you want to go ahead and do that? Why would you want to do that? I've seen that, but it doesn't matter if you're gay, if you're straight, or everything. Sometimes you have to keep your hands to yourself, and sometimes you got to have some sort of decorum when you're out and about in public. But people don't understand that these days. And it comes to when it comes to personal space and everything, that needs to be respected. So I don't understand why the hell would you want to do that on such a big scale like that. It's not necessary. It's not welcomed. And I think Louis Walsh should apologize. But I know this video was out a long time ago. But at the same time, it just doesn't justify the fact that you should be doing that. I wouldn't have been doing that. I really wouldn't be doing that at all. Because I've got respect for everybody, and when you grow up and everything, you do learn about self-restraint. You do learn about self-control. You do learn about keeping your hands to yourself and trying not to be over friendly or over be touchy feely with somebody, you know. But try like I just make sure that I be comfortable with whoever I'm around. If I know them or if I don't know them, the main thing is to try and you know have respect for people. Imagine now if that person's done that to you, would you like it? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So, how can men try and do that? And you know, I, I'm trying to come up with this question now because I've written this down. And how are men like that? How are men are different from social media to when they're out in public? And this is a form of respect because when you got people out, there's trolls. There's mainly trolls. You got people that would say something but end up saying the controversial thing, which essentially is trolling in a way. Um, but when they're out in public, they do something that's just crazy. How about when people go out there and they take um, a picture or a photo or a video of something that goes on? You know, when there's a fight, that people do it with video record it, you know, instead of just helping the person. And you got people out there that just stand and watch. Now, if that happened to you, would you like it? This is the level of respect, people. I just don't understand. This is what riles me up about society sometimes, because I even see when I used to go on buses and I used to see people that just end up having a fight and no one does anything to stop it. No one does anything to de-escalate the situation whenever something happens. No one really does that. You know, I remember seeing this video of this person, um, and this person was an ethnic minority on a train, and he was there telling them to go back to the country and everything else. And there was this lady that was down there, and she actually took him to one side and actually said, "What you're saying is really really bad, and I just don't want to sit here anymore." So she moved and everything. I thought that was brilliant what she said because it's not needed at all. Um, yeah, it's just kind of crazy at the moment, and I think that people really need to think about what are they like when they're at home and when they're out in public. Are you the same, or are you going to be different when you're out in public? You know, people are gonna look at you wrong. So really and truly, I think that's what people need to kind of understand. Um, so I'm going to talk about the other big issue that's happened in the last few weeks or so, and that's the cave rescue um, in Thailand. Now, now there was 12 boys that actually got stuck into the cave. One of them actually had a birthday, so as a treat, they decided to go down together to explore the cave. Now, what I understand was it was the wrong time of the season to actually go and visit the caves because of the water and the rain that drops into the cave and it builds up with so much water. And the less the less time that actually happens is in deeper later on in the year. That's when they should have went, but alas, they actually went into the cave and they got stuck. They had drinkable water, but it was seeping through the walls, so that's how they kind of kept themselves hydrated. Um, and what was interesting is that one person actually found that something was wrong just by um, stumbling on the caves where they saw the bikes and everything, and they called for help. A huge humanitarian effort was actually done to get these boys out, and they got these boys out in small groups, and successfully all 12 of them have come out, which is a really really good story to be honest. And also have a person in mind who's going to be the extraordinary person of the week. I'm going to come to that in a bit, but this is the thing about human kindness that I really love. This is the thing. You could actually go. and do your own thing, and you could talk to somebody that doesn't even speak English or whatever, and they could actually help you. Um, and I do like that in the world. I do like that when it comes to people. So I respect that. Right, I'm gonna come across to the end of the show now. I know that this is a bit short. I was gonna talk about Donald Trump, but it's not even needed. It really isn't needed. Um, because he's here in the country, and he is about to depart, and there's been mass protests about him, and yeah, I just don't want to go into it. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about the Extraordinary Person of the Week award, and it's going to go to a man called Saman Gowan. He's one of the guys that actually helped the 12 boys, and he lost consciousness whilst after running out of air for himself because he delivered air tanks to the boys, and he couldn't be saved, and he was only 38 years old. So I want to say respect to him, and you know, it's a really really good effort from everybody. It's not just him, but credit to him for helping and contributing. So yeah, so I'm going to end this week's show. I will be back sometime later on this week to do another podcast. So keep it locked here on Shakedown, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out, people.
I told you once, and I'll tell you twice. The way I feel, here's my advice. I told you once, and I'll tell you twice.